Welcome to TalkUp. This is a special podcast where we help you improve your English listening skills in a fun and easy way. We speak slowly and clearly so that you can easily follow along. Grab a seat, relax, and enjoy today's story. Remember, don't worry about understanding every single word. Just listen and enjoy the journey. Let's get started. Once upon a time, in a busy city, there was a man named Jack. Jack was always in a hurry. He worked a lot, never had time for fun, and lived a pretty simple life. One morning, as he was rushing to work, something strange happened. He bumped into a woman at the coffee shop. "Hey, watch where you're going," she said, but then she smiled. Jack felt embarrassed. "Sorry about that. I wasn't paying attention." "No problem," she replied. "I'm Sarah. I guess we both need some coffee to wake up." Jack laughed. "I definitely need something stronger than coffee today." They both ordered their drinks and sat down together. They started talking, and before they knew it, they were laughing and sharing stories. Jack didn't expect to make a new friend that morning, but sometimes life surprises you. Over the next few weeks, Jack and Sarah met at the coffee shop every morning. They became good friends, and Jack looked forward to these mornings. One day, Sarah had an idea. "Why don't we take a weekend trip somewhere? We could use a little adventure." Jack wasn't sure at first. "I don't know. I've got a lot of work to do. I'm kind of tied up." But Sarah insisted. "Come on, you work too hard. You need a break. Let's go somewhere close just for the weekend." After some convincing, Jack agreed. They planned a small trip to the mountains. Jack was nervous because he wasn't used to taking time off from work, but he trusted Sarah, and he knew it was a good idea to try something new. The weekend finally came. Jack and Sarah packed their bags and headed to the mountains. The drive was long, but they had fun talking and listening to music along the way. Jack noticed something he hadn't realized before. He was actually enjoying himself. "See, this wasn't such a bad idea, was it?" Sarah asked with a grin. Jack smiled back. "I have to admit, this is way more fun than I thought it would be." When they arrived, they saw the beautiful view of the mountains. The air was fresh, and the silence of nature was peaceful. They spent the weekend hiking, exploring, and having deep conversations. Jack realized that he needed more moments like this in his life. On their last night in the mountains, Jack and Sarah were sitting around a small campfire. The stars were bright and the air was chilly. Jack was feeling peaceful, something he hadn't felt in a long time. But suddenly they heard a strange noise coming from the woods. "Did you hear that?" Sarah asked, looking over her shoulder. Jack stood up, listening carefully. "Yeah, it sounded like footsteps." For a moment they were both silent. "Relax," Sarah said, laughing nervously. "Maybe it's just a deer or something." But Jack wasn't so sure. "Let's check it out, just to be safe." They grabbed a flashlight and walked slowly toward the sound. The trees creaked in the wind, and every step they took made the leaves crunch under their feet. "Okay, this is starting to feel like a horror movie," Sarah joked. Suddenly they saw something move, a shadow. Jack held up the flashlight and called out, "Hey, who's there?" To their surprise, a man stepped out from behind a tree. He looked just as startled as they did. "Whoa, sorry," the man said, holding his hands up. Didn't mean to scare you. I'm just a hiker. I got a bit lost and saw your fire. Jack and Sarah both let out a breath of relief. You gave us a heart attack, man, Jack said, laughing now. They invited the stranger to warm up by their fire, and soon they were all chatting like old friends. The next morning, Jack and Sarah packed up and headed back to the city. On the drive home, Jack was quiet. You okay? Sarah asked. Jack nodded. Yeah, just thinking. This trip really opened my eyes. To what? To how much I was missing out. I was so focused on work that I forgot how to live. I forgot how to just be. Sarah smiled. I'm glad you came. It's funny how one weekend can change everything. Jack looked out the window, watching the trees pass by. Yeah, maybe life isn't just about getting things done. Maybe it's about the people we meet and the stories we create. A few weeks later, Jack was a different man. He still worked hard, but now he made time for the things that really mattered. Morning coffee with Sarah, evening walks, weekend hikes. He even started writing a blog about the trip and how it changed him. One day, Sarah called him and said, "Guess what? Our story is getting shared all over the internet. People love it." Jack laughed. Really? That's wild, Sarah replied. See? One small adventure turned into something big. Jack smiled. Yeah, and I think it's just the beginning. A few months had passed since the mountain trip, and things were going well. Jack was happier, healthier, and more open to new experiences. But then, one evening, Sarah called him with surprising news. Hey, can we talk? She asked. Her voice sounded serious. Of course, everything okay? Jack replied. They met at their favourite coffee shop. Sarah took a deep breath and said, I got a job offer in Canada. Jack was stunned. Canada? That's amazing. But wow, when do you leave? In 3 weeks, she said softly. It's a big opportunity. I'd be working on a nature documentary. It's kind of a dream job. Jack smiled, trying to stay positive. That's incredible, Sarah. You have to go. She looked at him. You sure? It's hard leaving all this behind, leaving you behind. Jack was quiet for a moment. Then he said, You taught me how to live again. You showed me what it means to chase something that matters. Now it's your turn. Sarah smiled, her eyes teary. You always say the right thing. And that's the end of today's story here on TalkUp. I hope you enjoyed listening and maybe you even felt a little inspired. Remember, every small moment in life can lead to something bigger. So stay open, stay curious, and keep learning. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to leave a comment and tell us, where are you listening from? We'd love to know which part of the world you're in. And as always, we speak slowly and clearly on TalkUp to help you improve your English, one story at a time. Thanks for being with us today. See you in the next episode. Until then, keep talking, keep growing.